Hello and welcome back once again, fellas. Today what I've got for you here is a bit of a combo tutorial. So recently I posted a deck list for this profile, this being Runic Synchro, and so today I'm going to teach you how to play it. So the way this deck works is really by seeing any two Runic names and Assault. I've built in as many different ways to make this deck play as well, but that's the bread and butter combo, is any two Runic spells and then Assault. So the combo goes like this. You'll use Runic spell number 1, that'll summon out Hugin. Hugin effect on summon, you will pitch a cost, and we've got a lot of good discard targets. The very first one I have in hand is Ringo Worm, and you're going to add the fountain. So you go search, 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 and then there's a fountain. So you add that fountain, and then you'll go ahead and activate it. Next, you'll go ahead and use the effect of the Assault Synchron to special summon from hand, and then you take 700. After that, you'll go ahead and do a quick Synchro summon for a Synchro 4. This Synchro 4 being Cupid Pitch. Now, on summon of Cupid Pitch, if this is the combo line you see, then you're going to make Cupid Pitch go up by 2 levels, since that was the level the tuner used for her summon. Then we'll go ahead and activate the second Runic spell you have in hand, once again summoning Hugin. This time you can then fountain for 2, or 3 if you happen to discard another Runic card, or if you've milled one. So you put 2 on the bottom and you'll draw 2. 1, 2. From here, you'll go ahead and Synchro summon again, this time for a Synchro summon for level 8. So our Synchro 8 of choice is Excel Stardust Synchro Dragon. And so what happens here is pretty important. Step 1, you're going to use the Excel to reborn the Assault since it's a level 2 or lower tuner. And the other effect you need to do here is Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch, what it does, if it's sent as Synchro material to the graveyard, then you can burn your opponent for the level of the monster that it summons, and then you get a search for a monster with exactly 600 defense from deck to hand. And this is the important part, we grab Sangan. Importantly, we haven't normal summoned here, so that's what we'll do next. We'll normal summon Sangan and immediately Synchro summon off for a Synchro 5. Our Synchro 5 is TG Hyper Librarian. And now from here we'll trigger the effect of the Sangan in graveyard. Sangan, when he's sent to the graveyard from the field, lets you grab a monster with 1500 or less defense or attack, but you can't activate it this turn. So normally that's pretty restrictive, but there's a few cards, and the one we're going to add is one that doesn't care, that don't activate for its effect. So we add is the new Blackwing card, Sharanga the Waning Moon. So what's important about this card is that it can just special summon if there's a Synchro monster on your side of the field, or maybe even on the field period. With 2,000 more, or just if there's a monster with 2,000 or more attack on the field, you can just special summon it from hand. Now we've got 2 of those, so we can just special summon him out. And this is where the fun part starts. So we're going to then, to extend the combo, tribute the Excel Stardust Synchro Dragon for his effect, immediately special summoning a Stardust Dragon, and right after that it immediately Synchro summons into a Synchro 10, and so we'll make Bestial Dissipator. So what will happen here is Hyper Librarian will be Chainlink 1 and 2, you'll get 2 draws, because the Stardust Dragon that you summoned off of Excel counts as a Synchro summon, and Dissipator, of course, was Synchro summon. So draw 1, draw 2. And then also what we're going to do in that same chain is banish the Assault, since a Dragon Synchro monster, 7 or 8, was attributed or banished to our period. So you can banish it and reborn it. And so from here, we use Dissipator, bring back the Assault, and then we can use our 2 and 8, and we can make it 10, so we'll make Baron. That'll get us another draw. And then from this just kind of depends on what all you have left. So here, because we have the Ringo Worm in graveyard, we can extend by making him into a token. So banish, summon a token. Now it can either be a tuner or non-tuner, so we're going to have it be a tuner. And we'll go ahead and make Ancient Fairy Dragon. We can use Ancient Fairy Dragon's effect to go and grab a different field spell, gain some life points. So we're going to grab Dragon Ravine. We'll then Dragon Ravine effect, discarding card to send a card. And so you're going to have to forgive me, this is a proxy, but we'll send Lubellion. And then from here, you'll use the Lubellion effect contributing Dissipator to summon, and then you'll activate a branded spell trap from deck. So normally you do regain, but we already have that in hand, so we're going to go and grab Beast and activate it. And we'll end on these two right here with 4 cards in hand. And the second your opponent does a summon, you can bring back Dissipator. Now if you have another Runic card, then you also get Fountain back, because you can either summon Jerry and add it back to your hand, or you can use Hugin and discard another, or you can't do it, you'd have to have Jerry. So if you have Jerry, you can get back to Fountain before you pass turn, and then if you have any Runic cards, they're all alive. And so at this point, you've ended on a pretty good board, plus Runic follow-up. Alright, let's get on to combo number 2. So to start, just to clarify things, because I don't have them quite yet, these 3 cards right here are proxies. So Ghost Bell is actually Sprite Blue, and Cosmic is actually Sprite Jet. But with this hand, I'd like to show you what happens when you open some Sprite cards and the Runic or away into tuning. So we'll start with tuning. So we're going to use tuning, and we're going to go ahead and grab Assault, because Assault is insane for this deck. And then we mandatory mill 1. So after we mill 1, we hope and pray that we see a Runic card. We did not, but that's okay. So from here, we'll special the Assault, take our 700, and then we can special blue effect. Now, because of how this hand is set up, we should probably grab a monster negate. So I'm going to go find red. Sprite red, so we'll add him and we can special him out. This way we don't lose to Nibiru. And we may as well also special out our Jet and get our Jet effect to search while we're at it. So I have 1 target for Jet in this entire deck. I don't believe in Starter, because Starter 2 locks us. But I do play Smashers, so I'll go ahead and grab Smashers. Though this is an optional bait you could just take out. From there, we're going to tip to summon. And on tip summon, we'll go ahead and discard for Fountain. The reason we're doing this here is, even though we can't do it yet, there's a pretty high chance that we'll draw into a Runic card, and if we do that, then we get our draw 2, and we are set. From here, we just need to make a Synchro 4, and it's back off to the races. So we'll go ahead and make the same guy, or woman as last time, Cupid Pitch. And of course, we're going to go Cupid Pitch, go up. Because Cupid Pitch and Tuner, so we can make an 8. And then from here, it's just the same combo as before, except we're playing with sprites, and we've got some protection with red, and we're getting all the draws and all the fun stuff. Alrighty, so for this next combo, we're going to imagine we've made it to turn 3. We managed not to die on turn 1 or turn 2. But they managed to clear our board one way or another. So we're left with a graveyard that's full of random crap and just 2 cards in hand. So we've got 2 cards in hand specifically, though. We've got Saketama and Magnamut. Though it could be any Bestial, and it could be either Spirit, but Saketama is better. So with this combo, we're going to make a Light and Dark Chaos Angel. I mean, you can imagine how, right? Because it's just extremely powerful. So you start by using the Saketama effect. Saketama lets you reveal it to your opponent and then immediately normal summon a spirit. And that does not use your normal summon. It's a lot like the normal summon off of the Floandree's map field spell. And then we'll also use Magnamut's effect to special from hand by banishing the Sandgan from graveyard. Make sure you use your Magnamut effect on summon. And they'll just go right on ahead and make the guy. And if they've got anything on the field, you'll just go ahead and banish it. And now you've got a unaffected by monster effects and cannot be destroyed by battle Chaos Angel, who's just going to chill there and, you know, be an absolute threat. Okay, guys, welcome back. Today is a new day, so this is a first for me, but we're back to showing you some more combos here. So what we got here is really just a bit of a Bestial combo. So to start, this is not actually a Draco Berserker. This is a Lubellion. We'll have to use our pretending glasses today. But this is to, if you see a weird start, this is what you can do. So if you start with Ravine, or any way to get to Ravine access, we're able to dump anything we want. So we'll send cost, being a light or dark, that's important. So we'll send the Sharanga. And then we'll go ahead and foolish the... We'll foolish a Ringo Worm. From here, we'll use the Lubellion's effect to actually search. And so what we're going to search for here is Saronir, because Saronir is another card that lets us have a Foolish. So we'll add the Serenir, and then we'll use the effect of the Serenir, banishing the Ringo Worm from Graveyard. From here, we'll then tribute for the effect of Lubellion in the Graveyard. That'll trigger Serenir since it was sent from field to grave, or not just sent to Graveyard. Here, we'll send the Regained, and then we'll activate the Lubellion's effect to activate Beast from deck. So what that alone does, and this is something that Dragon Link does all the time, is that makes it so that during the end phase, we're going to grab the Regained, and that means that whenever our opponent summons, we'll have an extra Bestial to tribute for Beast. It also lets us get draws, which is pretty neat. Okay, so for this next hand, and you're going to have to forgive me once again, we've got Ghost Bell, which is actually Sprite Blue. I know, he's looking really weird today. But the point of this hand is when you see weird Sprite hands. Because we play Sprite, and Sprites are level 2, it makes it actually work out pretty well. So if we start out with Assault, or anyway into a tuner, well, it's always going to be him, but anyway into him, we summon him for free, and we can summon blue on effect, or on summon, grabbing. Now don't kill me, guys, it's another proxy, and this one doesn't make any sense. My friends were giving me so much shit about it last night, but we're going to add Sprite Jet, which is this Cosmic Cyclone. We'll summon the Jet, and then we'll grab the Smashers, because that is the only Runic spell that I'm playing. Starter is a great card, just not for this deck. And so now we've got Smashers for, like, later on. We'll go ahead and just summon Red as Nib Protection early on. And worst case scenario, he'll be fodder for the Smashers later. From here, we turn our Tuner and our Blue into Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch will go up. So we're no longer in nib protection time, but that's okay because they're not nibbing us here. If they want to, they can try. And we'll Excel bring back. They entirely could nib us there, but they're not going to because they are good people. From here... Oh, Cupid Pitch searching. Can't forget that. That's really important. Because that's probably the best part about the entire combo, is getting the Cupid Pitch search here, because it gets you draw 2 and 2 Synchro 10s. Like, that's just mandatory. And we can normal Sangan. We go make our Synchro 5 TG Hyper Librarian, which I learned yesterday does count your opponent's Synchro summons. So if you're playing into a Synchro mirror, you better win the dice roll. It's very important. And then we get the Sangan effect to search. And then we can special because we've got a monster with 2k or more. And then from here, we just do the normal combo. And that's without using what's in hand here. So if we need another body, we do have a Sprite or a Runic card, and we've got Fountain Access. So if we need to continue draw, if our hand is that dead, we've got the draw reset. But yeah, this is where we get with mostly just Sprite cards. And what's interesting here is we're actually still able to attack. So if you see Sprite cards only, then you're able to go for lethal on the next turn, and that's not something that your opponent is going to be expecting games 2 or 3 after they watch you go with all those Runic cards. So that's something that's actually pretty interesting. Okay, so this is just going to be the epilogue here. From my testing over these last few days, I've actually gotten some good insight. So first thing I've noted or thought about is there is no side deck currently because I'm mostly testing to see if the engine can even work. And because I'm getting to a point where it can most of the time, I've decided we can start working on the side, and the first card that's going to go in is Gravity Collapse. Gravity Collapse is absolutely ridiculous for this strategy. It is essentially Solemn Judgment and a Floodgate that's a counter trap. So, into pretty much every deck you're going to play into, this is going to steal games. It's a lot like Harpy's Featherstorm for Floowandereeze. And honestly, it's kind of important because sometimes we get really stuck where we can make a Synchro and that's it. And if you see this, then you live that turn. So it's worth putting in. Also, the deck just deep draws like crazy. So playing something like Gravity Collapse in the side for when you go first, game 2 or 3 is probably a really, really good idea. From there, what I've learned about this deck over the last few days of testing as well is we might not end up playing... I don't think we're going to play the Sakitamas, the Aratamas. I've taken those out because they were very redundant. We may need to play more tuners, though sometimes I see too many of them, which is stupid. I shouldn't be seeing too many tuners. I only play about 7. It's really weird. But yeah, it's really weird. The Runic cards are both the best and worst part of this deck. I think maybe a Sprite variant where you just use Sprite Bestials and then the Assault and probably Ringo Worm might even be better. But I haven't gotten that far to test it yet. Mostly because you can't use Starter with this variant, this type of deck. Because if you use Starter, you're stuck to 2s, and once you're stuck to 2s, you can't make anything important. Yeah, so we were just not going to deal with it. But my overall take with this is I think it's a lot of fun and rewarding to get good at, but it's kind of difficult because you're managing your resources and whatnot, obviously. But going second rate, we're using most of our Runic cards as our board breakers. But the problem is sometimes we need them to build our board. So it's weird that they have these dual purpose, but I like it a lot. And it's something that I think is worth testing around with. And if you guys have any other ideas of cards that either may help this deck or certain things that should go in or out, please let me know. I'm extremely interested because I want to make this deck good, not just work. And it's not that it's not good, it's just not, great. But either way, guys, thanks for watching, and let's continue cooking.